It's great to welcome on board Suzanne Vega. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to Tokyo.
Thank you.
What do you love about Tokyo when you're here?
I love the food. I love the feeling of science fiction that the architecture kind of gives you this feeling of future and old-fashioned kind of future vision. I also like the older parts of Tokyo, the shrines and but that's I think true all over Japan, not just Tokyo. So those are a couple of things.
A lot of people say it's like being in Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's a bit like that.
Today's January 23rd, it's Chinese New Year's Day. The Year of the Dragon has started, which gets me thinking about this year. Any thoughts, any resolutions, any wishes, any dreams for 2012?
Yeah, I guess so. I wish for the world, I guess, a sense of financial stability. That seems to have been, since in the last 4 years, just kind of going crazy since the crash in 2008. So that's on a lot of people's minds, and mine included. I heard that if you sweep away if you clean out your entryway, that you leave room for fortune to enter your house, and so I have made a note to clear away all the muddy boots from the entryway, so that fortune can enter my house too. So that's one thing.
My radio co-host Sayoko will be very, very pleased because she's recently been doing some feng shui parts on the radio show, and that was one of the key things she said. You know, the entrance to the house must be clean to bring in the good luck. So.
Yeah, well, my dog won't like it. She loves the mud towel and she loves to curl up with the muddy boots. But we'll have to work on that.
I love the fact you're a real New Yorker, but I'm also really interested in, you're just talking about Tokyo and the sort of sci-fi element and the old element, which is what I think about you with New York. You're essentially a folk singer, for want of a better expression. I don't know if you like or dislike that, but there's this amazing musical legacy in New York, and yet it's a big, dynamic, modern city, but there's still this very soft side to New York as well, I wonder. Do you think you're a part of that? Do you believe in that?
Yes. I feel that the root of what I do is folk music. It's songs and stories on the guitar, and that was my intention when I first started playing the guitar all those years ago. But you know, the root can sort of give birth to different flowers, you know. So it's kind of a hybrid thing as it's gone along. I feel happy just stealing from any other genre and mixing it in if I want to. And New York has that sense of future possibilities. It's one of the things I love about New York because I came from a really bad neighborhood. I came from a family that definitely not one of the 1%, definitely the 99%. And so I became successful fairly early on, and all of that happened in New York City. And it's this wonderful place where you can, if you're intelligent, if you educate yourself, if you're cultured, you can kind of move on. But it also, what I wish, what I see here is that people do revere the past. You know, they respect the past. And in New York City, it doesn't happen often enough. And we're losing some of our great venues. And, you know, it'd be nice if New York would respect the past a little more than it does.
Is there a reason? I mean, I guess, again, being that big dynamic can do anything city. I guess that's why probably in some ways people are like, forget the past, let's keep on building and growing.
Right, that's history. History means happened back then. But in some ways, though, I say take a big piece of New York City, like Central Park. There was a time when Central Park was crumbling and the castle was full of graffiti and the park was full of drug addicts. And now they've created this conservancy, and now it's really beautiful, and it's being conserved. It's being conserved the way the people who dreamed it up in the mid-1800s dreamed of it. So that's being conserved. So that there's still hope that there might be more of a respect for the original vision.
I haven't been to New York since they've reopened. I forgot what it's called, the old rail line that's been opened.
The High Line, the High Line. Actually, I'm embarrassed to say I haven't been there either.
Oh.
I used to live over that elevated line when it ran down by Horatio Street, and so I lived looking down on that view for years, and now I live on the Upper West Side, so I haven't made the trip all the way down, so don't feel bad.
But I think, again, it's one of those great things, you know, luckily the right people saw it and they've kept it, they've saved it.
Yeah, they've saved it and they've sort of developed it in an unusual way. And it's really hot right now. I guess a lot of people are like buying apartments close by there. And, a lot of people say that it's a unique view of New York City.
Again, bringing the old and new together, you are a folk musician, but your voice and your music work so well at different areas as well. Of course, you work just beautifully in the electronic and ambient fields as well. Do you I'm thinking of sort of Bob Dylan going electric here. Was there any? Have you had people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You should just stick to the old stuff"?
Yes, I've just resigned myself to the fact that anything I do, there's going to be an opposing camp. Sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, we like it better simple," but then there are other people who if I do just myself and my voice, they miss the songs I play makes noise or some of the more electronic ones. So right now, actually, I think I've kind of got a great balance because it's just myself on guitar and I've got Jerry Leonard also on guitar. So I do what I do, which is quite simple, and then Jerry kind of adds all of this other electronica element to it where it's appropriate. And that's the whole aesthetic of the Close-Up series, actually, the CDs that I'm selling these days. Simple production, not the production of the 80s and 90s, but just enough to give the songs to put out the idea of the song in its entirety.
Do you see yourself moving more into that direction? Do you like the electronic sound with it? I mean, like you said, it works so beautifully with your voice. Would you like to expand on it?
I would. I have, actually, at different times in my life. I've done remixes. I did more remixes with DNA. I did a remix once with CNC a long time ago. I hear a lot of remixes of Tom's Diner even these days, and I'm always curious to know who's doing what out there. And so I'm definitely open-minded. You know, and it's sort of a visceral thing. Either I like it or I don't like it, and usually it has nothing to do with the intellectual aesthetic. It's more like it's cool or that's not cool.
Do you work from your heart? Is it purely your heart, or is it a cerebral thing with your work as well?
It's a mixture of things. When I'm not very good at just blurting out my feelings, to be honest. I never have been, and so usually I'll start with the feeling, and then I'll try and give it a name and a place and a texture and a color and a way of a form to it, and that's how I work. So the impulse comes from the heart, but then it gets filtered through all this other stuff.
The song Luca almost makes me cry every time I hear it. You know, after all these years, I mean, it's just one of those amazing songs. It's so pretty, it's so beautiful to listen to, and yet it's such a sad song. It's obviously touched other people. Do you think it's affected people? Is there someone like Luca whose life has changed because of it, because of the song, do you think?
Yes, actually, I know of at least one girl who wrote to me back in 1987 when it came out, and she wrote to me to tell me that it had changed her life. Because of the song, she was able to tell the doctors in the hospital what her father had been doing, and they separated her. They separated her from the family, and they protected her, and she felt that was due to my song. And she wrote me a letter, and I wrote her back. And every time I go through the Midwest, she comes out to say hello. So there's at least one person there. I got so many letters that year. And honestly, when I wrote it, I had no idea that I was writing about a public phenomenon. I really thought it was just one small story that most people, I felt, wouldn't really understand. So the success of it was really surprising.
Quick one, I know you have to go because you're about to
Okay.
go on stage soon, but okay, finally, if we do go to New York, if we do go to Tom's Diner, what do we drink? Recommend something.
Well, Tom's Diner, it depends on which one you go to. If you go to the original one, which is on 112th Street in Broadway, it's a pretty average place, which is why I wrote about it to begin with. And I've only gone there for the eggs and the coffee. And it's still the same as it was back then. Nothing special, but it is the quintessential place. And so, you know, eggs, bacon, toast, coffee, and the story.
Bring it on. They must love you.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. You know, I still have to wait to get served. And I have to wait 20 minutes to say hello to the owner. So it's kind of funny. Something's never changed.
Well, I'll let you get back to it. It's been inspiring. Thank you so much. An absolute pleasure. Suzanne Vega, thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.